Hello, friends. I am here. It's Chris. Happy full moon, full hunter's moon. I will wait a few minutes as we get started just to let people start to gather. I'm so excited for this practice tonight. This has been a little bit coming. I'm so ready to bring us through this full moon energy. Finally, we get to move again. We get to have some forward momentum. If you're watching this live, leave a comment and a wave. Let me know you're here. I don't know if I'll see the comments or not. I'm using StreamYard to stream both on YouTube and Facebook, as well as run the event in my Facebook group. So leave a comment, and if I don't get to you right now, I'll get to you afterwards. If you're watching on the replay, leave a comment. Let me know you're watching this on the replay, and we will come together and celebrate this full moon. Hey, Heather. I think that's Heather. I'm old. I have to look at my glasses that way. We will wait just another moment. Happy Sunday, happy fall. Feels like fall where I am in Michigan. Good to have you, Heather. Hello. And all my other friends watching. If you are coming here to practice with me for this full moon, this Hunter's full moon practice, feel free to grab some blocks, maybe 2 blocks and a blanket. And that will probably be all that we need, if anything. And if you don't have any of those, if you're at home, blocks you may not have, books work really well, a water bottle works really well, a couple of pillows, maybe even a chair. You can use the seat of the chair instead of blocks, whatever feels good. And if you have a towel or a pillow or blanket from the bed, that works just as well. And so I encourage you to just go ahead and settle in, find a cozy space. If you are joining me from home, I encourage you to find a little quiet corner where you can have some alone time and not be disturbed. It's really easy when we're home to have all of the distractions come at you. I know I have 2 daughters and a dog and a cat and a husband, and that's why I am in my studio so that I can have complete focus and direction and intent for this evening. So take a moment, just settle in, find your place, maybe grab a cup of tea, and we'll get started. I'm drinking chai tea tonight. So let's settle in, and I want to take a few minutes and talk about the Hunter Moon and what that is, and the energies that are surrounding this full moon. This is something new that I've started this fall, is our full moon practices, and I absolutely love them. I love full moons, and actually my favorite is new moons, but we are not ready to build that in yet. For now, we're doing just the full moons, and many of you, I hope, saw the full moon last night, if not tonight as well. She is big and beautiful and amazing and bright and bold, and that is the energy that we are calling in and celebrating today, that energy of bold, bright, brave, powerful, shiny. That is the energy of this full moon. The Hunter's moon actually happened at 4:54 p.m. this afternoon Eastern time. If you're not in Eastern time, you can work the math to figure out the full moon from there. Hey, Amy, welcome. And the full moon right now is in Aries. And so Aries is fiery. Aries is bold. Aries is energy that helps us stand up for ourselves, that brings in power and takes back our own power. I live in a house full of Aries. My husband and both of my daughters are Aries. I'm a Libra. I'm the balance of all of that Aries energy. Aries energy can be fiery and overwhelming, temperamental, and just really, really bold. And so that energy is really what the energy of this full moon is tonight. And we're going to kind of harness some of that and bring it into our practice, but temper it with some balance and fluidity and focus. Up until this point, if you have been practicing, hi Beth, if you've been practicing with me in sadhana or small groups or with my Kundalini class on Wednesdays, you know that we have been in a Mercury retrograde, and for a while 6 planets were in retrograde, and that's a fun time. And so we are just now, yesterday, we are moving out of actually even the shadow of Mercury retrograde. And I love a good Mercury retrograde, but that's a whole nother session, a whole other practice, a whole other conversation. But the fact that we are finally moving out of Mercury retrograde means that we now have the opportunity for forward momentum. A lot of what we have done in this fall sadhana that I'm offering, this Kundalini practice that we are doing together, is finishing one chapter and waiting to begin the next chapter. And so finally, we are in a place where we can start the next chapter. It has been a long time coming. If you've been practicing with me this fall, since September, we have been doing a lot of experiencing. We have been doing a lot of finishing, of closing up the stories and the loose ends and being patient and still. There's been a lot of stillness and observation, a lot of dreaming big and thinking of what's to come, but not a lot of action forward. A lot of the action has been wrapping up. Tonight is our opportunity to begin that forward motion into the next season. And what that means is that we now get to step into our power. We now get to step into our dreams and manifestations and start to actually do that which will enable us to plant the seeds in the winter for harvest, for growing them and nurturing them in the spring. So this full moon activates the inner warrior. And I love that because in my Kundalini classes, we're doing Kriya of the Sage Warrior. And so, of course, this full moon brings in that same energy of that warrior, that powerful truth, that steadiness, that strength. And this month, this full moon is all about letting go of those relationships, those beliefs, those habits that really are holding us back, because now is the time for us to start to manifest and blossom and grow and become our truth and our highest potential that we've been dreaming about over the last couple of months. No longer are we in that energy of wait, of dream. No longer are we in that energy of inaction. We are now in the energy of action, of doing, of momentum, of clearing, of manifesting, of changing. So we get to step into our own power tonight. And we're going to do just that with our practice. It's actually a really fun place for us to be. And because we've been waiting for this for a while, I know that I have been feeling the need to start to take action. I've had a lot of huge transformations in this last month. I've had a lot of chapters come to close in my life in the last month. And now I am ready. I've kind of taken a breath, got my bearings. And now I'm ready to move into the future, move into this next version of my capital S self. And I'm very excited about that. So let's think about for a moment the characteristics of a warrior or a hunter moon, or that sage warrior that we talk about when we do Kundalini together right now. Those characteristics include patience, skill, focus, drive, and those are the energies we want to call in to our capital S self, to our existence, to our awareness, our manifestation now. Those are the characteristics we want to rely on and start to expand and foster and practice playing with over the next month and into the future. These energies will help us have clarity. They will help us focus. They will help us understand what our truest desire really is. And so tonight, our practice will have some moments of vigor. Tonight, our practice will have some moments of strength, of patience, of focus. We will use breath, we will use mudras, we will use movement to really help us focus and manifest those characteristics of that hunter or that warrior, and really help us move into where we're headed next. So if you're just joining me or you're watching the replay and you're just popping in now, go ahead and make sure you do have a blanket of some sort, maybe a block or two. If you don't have a block at home, use a book, maybe a water bottle, and just find a cozy place, a place where maybe you won't be disturbed, a place that is comfortable and quiet, and that you can really focus on your practice and let everything else fall away for a little bit of time. So I want to talk a little bit about what we'll do in the practice tonight. There are several things I want to cover. This practice will have some Kundalini-esque parts in it. So there will be some mini kriyas within it. We will be using mantra, which is singing, is how I describe it, as part of our practice as well. And we will be using breath of fire. So let me explain what all of that means. Breath of fire is pranayama. It's a breath, and I call it farmer's blow. I grew up in Iowa, and so it is a strong exhale through the nose and a reflexive inhale after every exhale. So if you're, say, out in the field, in the cornfield, for me, because I was an Iowa girl, and you don't have a Kleenex, but you have gunk in your nose, you got to get it out. You just blow it out. That's that strong diaphragmatic exhale. And the inhale is reflexive. We focus on the exhale, not the inhale. The inhale always happens. And so it's not an exhale, 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 inhale. It is an exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. So that we can keep going and going and going. We will do breath of fire for a significant amount of time, more than a minute. I'm going to just say that. And know that you can rest whenever you need to. But the purpose of that breath of fire is to let our monkey mind stop being in control and let our heart and gut brains start, our intuition start to take control. And our body actually regulates the use of the oxygen and our breath differently. You'll feel it. It's like a little switch turns on. And all of a sudden, it's not so much of a fight. It's more of just a rhythm and a comfortable place to breathe. Comfortable is relative, I guess, right? So that's breath of fire. And we will be doing that at the beginning of our practice and possibly at the end. I'm going to kind of see how we all feel as we get into that last little bit of it. The other thing I want to touch base on is our mudra. We are going to use Kali mudra, and that is simply interlacing our fingers, pointer fingers out, and thumbs are crossed. And so this is Kali mudra, and I love this one because it's a strong mudra of power. Kali is a fierce Indian goddess who is all about power and power of the feminine, and she is the goddess that wears the skulls of the vanquished, of her enemies, as a belt around her waist. I absolutely love that image. That just fierce warrior goddess. And so her mudra is the perfect mudra for this moon tonight. And then the mantra, we have actually two mantras, one that we will use in the middle of our practice in some of our warriors and archer poses. And that mudra, that mantra is Had. It's actually spelled H-A-R. If you're doing Kundalini with me, this is the mantra that we're using daily in our morning sadhana. Har, H-A-R, actually sounds like Hud, H-U-D, Hud. But the R is a rolled R, so it's a Hud. Had. And it's very similar to the breath of fire. I call it a breath of fire with sound. Hud, 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 hud is how it sounds. And we'll use that in the middle of our practice. At the end of our practice, when we are headed into Shavasana, we will use the mantra, I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, that is that. And if you are watching on the replay or on YouTube, I will put a link to a Spotify song that is my teacher, Guru Singh, singing with Seal, a song that has this mantra, I am who I am, that is that. And if you are on social media, I put it, if you're currently doing this live, I put it in my Instagram stories with a link so you can find that when the time comes. Okay, I think that is all I want to talk about right now. I'm ready for us to get started and practice. How does that sound? So go ahead and come to a comfortable seated position. And remember to bring in that concept of that warrior or that hunter, that sage warrior, that power, that focus, that practice, that stillness, that drive. And we'll begin in a seated position. Maybe we close our eyes, maybe we soften our gaze. And we'll just take a moment to find our breath. I always like to settle in first, to come to a comfortable seat, to feel into my body. Notice where the breath is moving. Notice what thoughts are on our mind. Notice what is in our realm of awareness. Notice how our body feels. Let's take 3 long breaths together, just coming into this unity, this unification. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Let the breath return to whatever is resting for you. And we'll prepare for that breath of fire, that strong diaphragmatic exhale and that reflexive inhale. Option to keep the hands on the knees or in the lap, or move into what my teacher likes to call the ego charger. We bring our thumbs up, and this is Agni Mudra, so this is fire. And we lengthen our arms overhead. So we make just gentle fists. Our thumbs are popped out, kind of like Heads Up 7-Up, if you're old enough to know what that game was. Sitting nice and tall, soften our gaze. And we'll take a full breath before we begin breath of fire. So let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale to begin. Keep going. There comes a point where your monkey mind wants to take over and says, oh my gosh, you're not going to be able to breathe anymore. You're going to die. Do it. Take a breath. Take a breath. Ask the question, what if I just do one more? And you'll feel that switch flip. You'll let your body start to regulate it instead of your brain. Rest when we need to. We can always take our hands to our knees. We're almost there. Inhale. Hold the breath. Reach through the hands and the thumbs and the crown of the head. Pause with the breath retained. Exhale, release the breath in the hands. Sit right there for a moment. Feel that circulation flow. Notice what you're aware of. Nothing like a little fire to get us started tonight for this Hunter's Moon practice. Beautiful. Let's make our way to stand at the top of our mat. And let's begin by finding mountain pose. And so I like to begin this practice this way because we are literally stepping into our own power and we are standing in our truth. So let's find that strong stance. Make sure the feet are hip distance apart. Make sure the toes are in line with our heels. Make sure our shoulders are down, our heart is lifted, our belly is engaged, and our legs are active, as if we can rip the mat apart, but we're not going to actually move the feet. You can feel the activation all the way up the legs when we start to have that concept in. Shoulders are soft, head and shoulders are soft. This is mountain pose, Tadasana. We stand here, maybe the eyes close and our gaze softens. When I close the eyes, I like to imagine I feel the earth move under my feet. Let's just take a few breaths here, feeling the activation of the whole body in mountain pose. Noticing the work and energy it takes to be still. Beautiful. Let's inhale our arms overhead. We grab hold of the right wrist and side bend to the left. Maybe we bring our feet closer together and let our hips glide a little bit to the right. So we're making that crescent moon shape with our bodies. Good. Inhale back up. Take the feet hip distance and release the hands back towards our hips. Beautiful. Take a moment. Inhale again, arms reach overhead. We'll go the other way. So grab the left wrist, side bend to the right. Maybe our feet come closer together and our hips move to the left. Keep breathing. No matter where we are, we need to breathe. Inhale back up. Exhale, release the hands, separate the feet again to hip distance. Beautiful. So we'll start to flow with this for just a moment. Let's bring our feet a little bit closer together to begin with. Inhale, the arms reach overhead. Exhale, side bend to the left as we hold the right wrist. Inhale up. Switching, exhale, side bend to the right as we hold the left wrist. Inhale up. And switch. Exhale, side bend to the left. Hold the right wrist. Inhale to center. Exhale, switch. Beautiful. One more to each side. Really connecting breath and movement here. Reaching out of the hips on that exhale. Inhale to center. Exhale, release the hands down by the hips. Shoulders out of the ears. Pause and breathe. Beautiful. Walk our feet a little bit wider back to hip distance. And we'll move into some half salutations just to start to move more of the body. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Hands can come through harder, arms can come wide. Bend the knees. Inhale, half lift. So we make an L shape with our body. Our head and shoulders come to hip height. Spine is long. Exhale, fold deep down. Press through the feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms reach. Gaze lifts. Hands come to the heart. Let's do another one of those. Inhale, reaching to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Always moving with the breath, feeling the strength in the legs. Exhale, fold deep. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Beautiful. Let's take one foot and step it back. It doesn't matter which, and I encourage you to step back with the foot that allows you to stay facing the camera. We're going to move to face the side of the mat, moving into goddess pose. Heels in, toes turned out slightly, knees are bent. If this doesn't feel good in your body, you can always just stay with feet a little bit wider apart. That's a great option. Or have a seat and have your legs feel supported, have your legs nice and wide. So moving into goddess here, we're going to inhale our arms overhead. As we exhale, we scoop our arms down and around, sweeping them beneath us. Inhale, rise right back up, make a circle overhead. Grab opposite elbows. Inhale, open. Exhale, sink the hips, make a circle. Inhale, rise up. So we're making that shape of that full moon right now. Exhale as we hinge. Inhale as we rise. Exhale, just a few more like this. Last one. And we'll meet in goddess. Arms open to the side. Palms face up, shoulders out of the ears. Find a focal point. Find a drishti. Feel the strength of the legs. The steadiness of the breath. Yes, we're almost there. Hands come to the hips, straighten the legs. Turn the toes in line with the heels. Make sure the knees are bent. And then exhale, fold forward. Take a moment and release the top of the head. Maybe move around. Just stretch everything out. Hands can hang, or we can grab opposite elbows in this forward fold, whatever feels good here. And then bend the knees, slowly roll back up. Just a little more play in goddess. So the heels come in, the toes turn out again. If you know me, you know my favorite pose is goddess. So here we are. Good. As we exhale, this time right forearm comes to right thigh, left arm reaches overhead. So we're going to make kind of almost a figure eight or a circle with these hands. So this top hand comes down and leads us to a side bend on the other side as our left arm lifts. I'm going to do that again nice and slow. Top hand drops down and we sweep around to a side bend on the first side. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale to the side. Keep going. Gaze can follow those fingertips if we'd like. Or maybe look to the earth the whole time. Maybe move up to the sky as we open to that side bend. We'll do one more on each side. And as we feel complete, we'll sweep ourselves back into goddess. Reach with the fingertips, palms face up, shoulders out of the ears. Keep breathing. Yes. Hands to the hips, straighten the legs. Let's walk our feet back in together, finding that mountain pose again. Eyes can close. Focus can be inward, shoulders out of the ears. Feel the strength in the legs. One more breath. Beautiful. Back into those half salutations. Inhale, gaze lifts, heart lifts. Exhale, fold forward. Feel the flow. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold deep. Inhale, rise all the way up. Heart lifts, gaze lifts. Hands come to the heart. One more of these. Moon energy is fluid, watery energy. It's the traditionally determined feminine. It's the more flexible, and I like to think of it almost as dancing energy. Pause. Good. And now we'll take our right foot and step it back. Again, turning to the side of the mat. Finding warrior two this time. So my front toes stay pointed towards the short end of the mat. My back toes point towards the long side. And my body is opening towards that long side of the mat. Arms reach open, palms face down. It's a little bit different than goddess. Good. We want to make sure we're heel to heel alignment. And then our back hand, which is my right one, comes to my heart, and we find that Agni Mudra again. Thumb up. My front hand finds Agni Mudra as well, and my gaze is over the tip of my thumb. Good. Sink the hips. And as we inhale, our thumb lifts and our gaze follows as if we're shooting to the stars, reaching to the sky. Pause and breathe when we get there. Good, and then inhale, come back down. Sight over the tip of that left thumb. Inhale, open the back hand wide, and as we exhale, close it to the front hand. Draw the arm through as if we're drawing the bow of an arrow. Inhale to open. Exhale, sweep it around. Inhale, draw it open. Exhale, one more. Reach forward and then draw it all the way through the heart, stopping at the heart. Gaze is over the tip of the front thumb. Good. Hands come to the hips, straighten the front leg, turn the toes to the side. Exhale, heels in, bend the knees. Good. Hands stay at the hips for a minute. Just rock a little side to side. Back and forth. Find that fluidity of that moon energy. Good. Straighten the legs. And now we just take the back toes, which for me are the right ones, and point them straight towards that short edge of the mat. The left toes come to the long, point towards the long side of the mat. We bend that right knee. So now we're facing warrior two at the back of the mat if you're on a mat. Good. We're doing warrior two on the other side. How about that? Bend the right knee and gaze comes over the right hand towards the back of the room. Thumb up, make a fist, Agni Mudra, bring that fire into focus. And then my left hand comes to my heart, thumb faces up. Hello friends, I see a few of you joining me. I'm so glad you're here. Gaze is over the tip of the thumb. Find that focus, that drishti over the fire, harness that fire. And then as we inhale, we lift the gaze and the thumb to the sky like we're aiming for the stars. We're reaching tall, out of our hips, out of the earth. We're aiming high. On the next inhale, we come back to shoulder height. Gaze stays over the tip of the thumb. Inhale, open the left hand wide. Exhale, reach forward. Draw the hand back through the heart as if we're drawing the bow, like a bow and an arrow. Inhale, open. Exhale, reach. Inhale, draw it through. Exhale, one more. Inhale, pull it in, stopping at the heart, finding that focus again over that Agni mudra, that fire mudra. Breathe right here. Harness that energy. Harness that fire, that drive, that focus, like a hunter or a warrior. Beautiful. Release the hands. Straighten the leg. Turn the toes in, and we'll step back to the top of the mat. Finding mountain pose again. Strength in stillness and standing tall in our own body. Standing in that truth. I am who I am, that is that. It's our mantra for the end. Half salutations again. Inhale, reach overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, long spine, strong legs. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms reach, gaze lifts, heart lifts. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's do one more of those. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Make that L shape with the body. Exhale, fold deep. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a breath right here. Mountain pose, strength and stillness. Beautiful. Now we'll take our left foot and step it back, not as far, and we want to stay facing the short end of the mat. So my feet are hip distance apart, and my back heel is planted with my toes just slightly out at an angle. My front knee is bent, my right one is bent, and we take our arms overhead. This is warrior one. Shoulders out of the ears. Good. Take a breath. Press through the back heel. Draw the belly up and in. Drop the shoulders away from the ears and feel the length. Feel the stretch from the back of the heel all the way to the tip top of the head and the fingertips. And then as we exhale, we bring our hands to our heart and find that Kali mudra that we talked about at the beginning. Interlace the fingers, pointer fingers to the sky. Thumbs are crossed. Once we find that mudra, we reach straight forward from the heart. So we're harnessing that heart energy as we reach out in front of us. Gaze is on the very tips of the fingers, and we take 3 breaths, slow and steady. One more. On the next inhale, reach overhead, arms coming beside the ears. Soften the shoulders, but reach through the fingertips. Inhale. And as we exhale, we hinge forward. Arms stay by the ears. And maybe we find warrior 3. Maybe we release the mudra and take our hands to blocks. Maybe we have that charge up of that fierce goddess energy holding us steady. 2 breaths right here. Let's take one more. And then bend the standing knee, plant the back foot, coming back into that warrior 1. Reach to the sky and then exhale the hands to the heart, Kali mudra. Shoulders soften. Feel the breath. Good job. Release the hands, inhale them all the way overhead. And then exhale, hands to the heart as we step back into mountain pose. Beautiful. Take a moment. Take the feet a little bit wider than hip distance. Bend the knees and just twist the body. Let the arms be heavy and just dangle here. Good. Coming back to center. Bring the feet back to hip distance. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale the hands to the heart and our right foot steps back. Warrior one. So again, my feet are hip distance. My front knee is bent. My back heel is planted. My toes are out slightly at an angle. Interlace the fingers, pointer fingers to the sky. And if you want to play a little bit with this mudra, you can switch the cross of the thumbs. It'll feel really weird, but maybe we play with that energy there. Inhale, arms reach straight out in front of us. Belly pulls in, and we'll take 3 slow, steady breaths here. Focus is on the tips of the fingers. Call in that Kali goodness, that fierceness, that power, that goddess, warrior goddess. One more breath. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Arms come beside the ears. Reach to the fingertips. Keep the shoulders heavy. Sink the hips. Lift the heart. And as we inhale, we hinge forward. As we exhale, maybe we float that back foot off the ground, finding that warrior 3 again. Hands can always release to blocks or chair or anything else for balance. Find the breath. If nothing else, please breathe. Good, and then bend the standing knee, plant the foot back into that warrior one. Arms reach overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a breath. Stillness, steadiness. And then release the hands and step back into mountain pose. Palms release, fingers reaching towards the earth. Eyes can close for a moment. Feel the breath. Beautiful. Let's step back again into warrior 2. So it doesn't matter which side, just find the place that allows you to see the screen the best. And we'll find warrior 2. Good, arms reaching nice and wide. We bring our back hand to our heart, thumb up, Agni Mudra. Gaze is over the front hand, thumb up. We're at the tip of the thumb. Our gaze is right at that tip, shoulders out of the ears. This is where we get to bring in that HUD mantra, that HAR, that's a heartstring. I call it the strumming of the heartstring. It is the mantra of the heart. It is the mantra of strength. It's breath of fire with sound. And all we do is as we say HUD, we reach forward and then we come back. HUD, 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 HUD. That's all it is. And we're going to do this for a little bit more than a minute. So let's take a full breath. Inhale. Exhale. Gaze is on the tip of the thumb. Let's inhale to begin. HUD, 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 hud. Almost there. Hud, 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 hud. Inhale, gaze at the tip of the thumb, pause, hold the breath in. Exhale, release, straighten that leg, turn the toes to the side. Take a moment, walk the feet in just a little bit, and then we'll take a forward fold on the next exhale. Move it around, shake it out. Let the head release towards the floor. Let the arms and shoulders be heavy. Bend the knees and let's slowly roll back up. So now we'll take that warrior two on the other side. So the back foot, the knee bends and the toes open towards the short end of the mat. So basically, we're taking our warrior two the other direction. We're still facing the camera. Don't think too hard about it or we'll never figure it out. And then that back hand comes to the heart, thumb up. That front hand, which is the same side as the knee that's bent, thumb up, gaze is at the tip of the thumb. So we should be looking in the opposite direction as what we just did. And as we move back into this mantra, this hud, hud, I want us to not only sink deeper, but I want us to really reach, get the heart involved, reaching into that future, pulling that truth back. Okay, so let's take a full breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to begin. Hud, 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 hud. Almost there. Keep it up. Hud, 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 hud. Inhale. Hold, pause, be still, gaze is over the tip of the thumb. Find that focus, that fiery focus. This is Aries energy right here, what we're feeling. Exhale, release. Woo! Turn the toes towards the long side of the mat. Hands come to the hips. Maybe we walk our feet in a little bit. And then as we exhale, we fold forward one more time. Move around, rock side to side. Breathe here. Whee! And then slowly roll back up. Walk yourself to the top of the mat. And once again, find mountain pose. Eyes can close, gaze can soften, and feel the change that is happening in this posture. Think about how this felt the first time we visited as we started our practice, and then the second time, and now this time. Notice the subtle and not so subtle differences. Feel the strength that we have awoken in our body. Embrace that. That is the power we want to harness as we move into that future. From this hunter moon on into the next. Beautiful. We're going to move into a yogic squat next. And so what that means is our feet want to come a little bit wider than hip distance, our toes out, heels in. Our toes want to track in the same direction as our knees. Maybe we take a block under our hips. Maybe we took a blanket under our heels. And as we exhale, we just simply bend our knees and bring our hips towards the earth. And so again, maybe sitting on a block feels really great. Do that. Maybe our heels are lifted. Put something under them so they're fully supported. Arms and legs press into each other. Palms press together. Ooh, and maybe we find that Kali Mudra. Again, that fierce warrior energy, that warrior goddess, the warrior of the moon. Interlace the fingers, point your fingers to the sky. Soften the gaze or close the eyes, and let's breathe here. Soften the jaw, let the hips be heavy. I am who I am, that is that. Three more breaths, finding support as we need it. Feel the stillness, the heaviness here compared to where we just were. Beautiful. Let's make our way back into seated. Easy seated pose. If we need to straighten those legs for a minute and shake them out, we sure can. But eventually we'll make our way into that seated position. Feel free to tuck a blanket under the hips. Hands come onto the knees. Sitting nice and tall. And we'll move into what we call Sufi grind in Kundalini. So these are just big circles with our body. Inhaling as we circle forward. Exhaling as we circle back. Letting this kind of integrate everything we have done up until this moment. This movement brings together all of the work, all of the fire, all of the stillness, and integrates it into our body. Keep going in the same direction. There will come a point again where that monkey mind wants to take control and say, go the other way, you're supposed to go the other way. Don't just yet. Keep going the same way. And now we get to go the opposite direction, circling the other way around. Still following the breath, inhaling as we circle forward, exhaling as we circle back. Noticing how this really helps sedate and calm our body. Kind of hits all of the spots and brings us back into balance. Just a few more in this direction. Really savoring this fluidity that we are putting into our bodies right now. Inhale, come to center, sit nice and tall. Pause right here. Let the breath flow. Noticing how you feel. Noticing what's in your realm of awareness. I love to use that phrase, especially in Kundalini. It's a practice of awareness and awakening. What are you aware of right now? Beautiful. Let's inhale our arms overhead. Interlace the fingers, pointer fingers to the sky. And as we exhale, we'll side bend to the right. Reach through the fingertips. Keep that left hip grounded. Take a breath. And then release the left hand. Deepen the side bend. And maybe we look up to the sky. Breathe right here. Finding that seated crescent moon position. Beautiful. Inhale back to center and release the hands for a moment. Take a moment, let the shoulders soften back down. Good, and now we inhale the arms overhead. Interlace the fingers, point your fingers to the sky and side bend the other way. Reach out of the waist, reach the fingertips, breathe. And as we exhale, release the hand and side bend even deeper. Gaze can look up again, finding the stretch that we would like. Breathing here. Inhale back up. Exhale, hands release. Nice work. Take a moment. Feel into where we are. Feel that energy, that fire that we've built, that momentum starting to build. And we will bring our hands into Agni Mudra. I didn't tell you all the mudras at the beginning, did I? So Agni Mudra, thumb up. And I like to use my non-dominant hand. The dominant hand wraps around, thumb up again. So I'm basically stacking my Agni mudras of my hands. And for me tonight, right is on top of left. And that just is held at our heart, maybe at our belly. You decide what feels best to you. Good. Eyes can soften or our gaze can close. Our eyes can close. And I want us to call in this mantra of I am who I am, that is that. And if you're watching on the replay, there are links to a Spotify song that you can hit play on. If you are on social media, you can find my stories right now. If you're watching it live, you can find my stories and hit play with the link in the stories. Or for those of us that are just in the moment, we are just going to repeat, I am who I am, that is that, just over and over. So close the eyes or soften the gaze, let that mudra of fire build within us, stoke those flames, find that passion and that energy and that momentum. And just gently repeat to yourself, I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, that is that. Keep going. Repeat that mantra one more time. I am who I am. That is that. And then we'll take a full breath in and out. Release the mantra and gently make your way into Shavasana, into our final rest, integrating all of the work that we've done this evening. Find a comfortable place to lie down, to take a moment to rest and feel supported. If you have the option, maybe turn the lights out, put a blanket over you, close your eyes, and find rest. And we'll just take a brief Shavasana of a couple of minutes, letting our body fully integrate and align. Let the mind wander and the breath be soft. And open to the downloads, open to potential, to the future, to your capital S self. Slowly begin to deepen the breath. Bring the body, the awareness back to the body and the earth. Maybe we call back in that mantra of I am who I am, that is that. We open to potential and possibility. We call in our power, our strength, our experience. And as we're ready, we'll begin to put movement in slowly. Starting small, fingers and toes, maybe the head. Gradually adding more movement in as we are ready. Moving in any way that feels good. Holding on to that sense of potential, of strength within us. And as we're ready, we'll make our way up to a comfortable seated position. Eyes remain closed, focus is inwards. And we'll bring our hands to press together in front of our heart. Maybe we call in that Kali Mudra again. Maybe we find that Agni Mudra again. Maybe we just find Anjali Mudra. And once more, we'll repeat that mantra. I am who I am. That is that. Let's take a full breath in and out. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within guide your way on. Namaste. Thank you, friends. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful evening. Happy integrating, happy manifesting, standing in your power and your truth. Bye-bye.